not just like put a bandit on a situation. Well, I'm gonna put makeup on while I talk because the kind of person I am is healing your traumas from childhood. So um, that's gonna be number one, and that's the reason why you have that negative self worth. It's from childhood. Somebody that you cared about, one of your parents or both, told you that you are inadequate in some type of way, and you believed it, and so that is what caused that negative self worth. Because when you're born, you don't really have that. So someone caused that in you, and also it's caused through neglect as well. And I'm not saying like that's gonna take like you're gonna have to grieve and you're gonna have to grieve really hard and you have to get out of denial. Okay, so if you have thoughts in your head that are like I'm not good enough or I'm not this, I'm not that, and just negative thoughts about yourself, that has to come from somewhere. And I would say most likely it came from your family unit being toxic, and or it is. I have read studies that it could also come from a toxic relationship, like in your adolescence and in your early life. So it doesn't have to come from your childhood, but what attracted you to that person and kept you around really thinks it comes from childhood. So because if you have a toxic childhood, you're like I think it's 100 times more likely to be an abusive relationship. So yeah, a lot of the good chance you were in an abusive relationship, abusive with your parents or someone else in your family. So that how you heal that is kind of a whole other video, but overall healing your childhood traumas. And I know a lot of people think that their childhood was perfect, they don't have trauma. It usually takes a therapist to really pull that out of you. So if you are having like depression and thinking you're not good enough, I promise you there's been some trauma in your childhood. Your mind's like blocking it, and then you have to bring it to the surface, and at that point, grieves the fact that like that happened to you, or that person was that way, or that person never loved you. Um, and to add to that point, when you let go of anybody, toxic friends, oh, that is the next one. Letting go of toxic people. Okay, so your body will tell you if someone's toxic, if they are not making you feel good, if they're putting you down. Um, you're gonna have to let them go because they slowly are killing at your spirit, and that's gonna bring down your self worth. Even if you're joking around with somebody, I say don't do that. Just try to lift each other up because it will affect you. That's just how we operate. Um, so yeah, get that self worth up. Another thing is doing 3 things that you like or 1 thing you don't like. That is from the book The Power of Positivity, and that's going to be great. That's gonna boost your positivity. So you show. So yeah, that's a formula I made up because I went through the process. I'm not saying I'm fully healed, but I've noticed in a year noticeable change in my thought process, and my resiliency has gone way up. And I realized that my self worth was very low, and the reason for that was I had trauma, and you have to grieve that trauma, and once you've grieved it, your self worth will go up. And another thing is a lot of people are manipulated or attract narcissists, as you can see on the internet, and that all stems from you can't be manipulated if you can't be shamed, because manipulation stems from shame. And I think the best thing to do is accept yourself for who you are, and just realize that you're doing the best you can right now. That's really, I'm just always thinking about that. Like, I mean, just you're doing the best that you possibly can right now.